Good morning, everyone. How are we today? Excellent. Well, we should be great. This is a fantastic day. This announcement today is a victory for our community, our farmers, and our families right here in South Texas and all across this country. First and foremost, I want to thank God. Thank you, Lord, for shining a light on the path to victory for us here in South Texas. I'm also greatly grateful and appreciative of our local businesses, our local elected officials, and President Trump and his administration for working with me on such a vital issue for South Texas families. Today, we have made a big step in the right direction. For more than 80 years, long before I arrived in Congress, this community faced a huge crisis when it came to water and the 1944 Water Treaty. That's why when I was first elected, I passed in the House a resolution that strongly supported diplomatic pressure to ensure that the Mexican government fulfilled its water obligations every single year. With that said, when I met with President Trump in the Oval Office in February, he was shocked to know that South Texas families had endured for decades a crisis due to the Mexican government not fulfilling its water treaty obligations. And he assured me that he was going to act swiftly to make sure that our South Texas farmers received the water that was due to them. And guess what? That's exactly what he did. In less than 2 months, President Trump and his administration made great strides. And that's why we are here today. Last month, I stood before you with Secretary Rollins right here in the Rio Grande Valley. And we announced $280 million of critical relief that was going to go to our South Texas farmers. It was going to be deployed to our farmers right here in the Rio Grande Valley. After years of being told that nothing could be done, we are standing right here today, strong and delivering for our community. I am proud to announce that the Mexican government has agreed to deliver up to 420,000 acre feet of water between now and October. That is more than a year's worth of water in less than 6 months. This is a huge step, a critical step. And I want to assure my community that this is just the first step. It is not the last. This fight affects every South Texas family because every one of us needs water. Let me remind you that Texas is one of America's largest agriculture producer. If we lose fruits and vegetable crops, the consequences will be devastating, not just for our families right here in South Texas, but for the entire country. I will never let that happen. It will not happen under my watch. I will continue fighting for our South Texas families, for South Texas farmers, and for the future of our community. It is an honor of a lifetime to serve as the Valley's voice in Congress. This is where I was born. It is where I'm raising my children. And it is where we are all raising our families. And that's why this issue is so critical. My friends, this is just the beginning. The best is yet to come. God bless you. I want to pass the mic now to my friend Dante, and he will talk a little bit about the effects of the 1944 Water Treaty and the water that has been secured to our South Texas farmers.
We threw our curveball. I'm Dale.
Sorry.
Dante's over there in the corner. I'm Dale Murden. I'm a grower and president of Texas Citrus Mutual. I want to welcome y'all to the home of the Texas produce industry. Behind me, you're going to see some ladies and gentlemen that are the heart of the industry, and they're who we're here for. On behalf of the industry, I cannot thank this lady enough for being our dogged determination pit bull. I've been working on this crappie for over 25 years just myself. We have never had this taken to a level this high to where we've finally seen some action. I want to thank President Trump's administration and President Scheinbaum's administration for working together. We hope it's a new day, and we hope we've turned the corner. But make no mistake, we will keep an eye on Mexico. But for the time being, we're happy to keep the pumps running. This is going to help citrus get through a summer, and it's going to help produce have a fall. So we cannot thank Congresswoman enough. Judge?
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. This is really a great day for Hidalgo County in South Texas. You know, water is absolutely critical for everything that we do. Our DNA is agricultural. And I really want to thank Congresswoman de la Cruz for being one of our water warriors in Washington, D.C. And as Dale said, well, she's a pit bull. Since I took office, our focus has been on improving the quality of life for all of our people. And that really requires that we need opportunity and jobs. We cannot improve the quality of life here without dependable source of water. So today's announcement really brings some short-term stability to our very much needed communities. This doesn't make up for the damage that has already been done, but we need to work together to make sure that our area was made whole for all the losses that we've had in the past. So really, thank you to all of the farmers who sacrifice every day to keep us clothed and feed us, and more often than not, get overlooked. So congratulations again, Congresswoman, and everyone else who worked together behind the scenes to make this possible.
Sheila. Thank you, Dale, and thank you, Judge, for being here. And thank you to all of our local officials, all of our farmers here who've had the patience and the drive and been leaders when it comes to water and pushing it forward. Again, it is my honor to work with all of our local officials. Some of the things that we have done locally is we've started together a South Texas Water Working Group, where we are also working on water infrastructure that will be pivotal for the future so that we no longer have to depend on the Mexican government for our water needs, but we'll be able to be self-sustaining when it comes to water. With that being said, I'd like to open it up for questions to our media. Any questions?
Yeah, so some of this water is coming from a balanced transport route. Mexico, both of our countries have limited storage, Amistad and Balkan. How is this going to impact our neighbors across the river? And where is the rice to the water coming from? The other 300,000?
So Mexico owes us 1.3 million acre feet of water. That's enough water to give to the city of Houston for 3 years. It's quite substantial. What Mexico has agreed that they are able to do is they are able to give us the over 400,000 acre feet of water between now and October. This is more than a year's worth of water in 6 months. From there, we have come up with a strategy with the Mexican government that will allow them to be able to give us water in increments until they give us the completed amount that is within their within their reach, basically.
I guess I'm a little bit curious. So this new plan involves Mexico allocating up to 50% of the water flows to the U.S. Previously, it was just 1/3. The La Boquilla Dam, which is in the Chihuahuan Mountains, single largest contributor to the 6 tributaries to our water, only has 500,000 acre feet. If we're going to get 400,000 acre feet, Mexico has to release 800,000. Where are they getting this water from? They don't have it.
Well, that's where the top level discussions have been with the Trump administration, Secretary Rubio and Secretary Rollins. as well as the Mexican foreign minister. Look, our obligation is to our South Texas farmers and our South Texas communities. We rely on our top level officials on the Trump administration side and on the president of Mexico side for them to come up with negotiations that they are able to fulfill. Because at the end of the day, our obligation is to our South Texas community and our South Texas farmers. Mexico has already agreed that this is something that they can do. And I believe that with the pressure that they have received, that they have agreed to amounts that is attainable to them. Next question.
So, the general has been focused on X, saying that China sent a proposal to the Secretary of State on the water deliveries. I'm curious if this agreement based on that proposal had it changed from that original proposal that was sent.
So the president of Mexico had made the X discussion a couple of weeks ago. Since then, we have had several negotiated discussions. It has been a long process, every day, multiple hours to finally come to an agreement yesterday. So there were a lot of behind the scenes negotiations, including over the weekends, over Sunday. We were on the phone all day from the beginning of the day all the way into the evening, knowing that this delivery was at the end of its negotiations. So there were lots of moving parts between when the X was put on X, the X statement was put on X to yesterday. Next question.
Can you talk a little bit about Minute 331 that was signed last November and how some of those new solutions contributed to this announcement of the higher share of water, using real San Juan water, all these things that are outlined in this deal?
So the minute was a negotiation by the IBWC earlier this year, and actually for the last 2 years. What I think the problem with the minute was that it did not guarantee us water, an annual water delivery, and it did not have teeth behind it. There were no consequences when it came to the minute. That's why these negotiations on the top level with President Trump and the President of Mexico was so important because number one, we need to know that there will be predictable water deliveries when it comes to the 1944 Water Treaty, but even more importantly, that there will be consequences. This is just the first step. Today is a win for South Texas, a win for our communities, our families, and our farmers, but it's just the first step. The next step will be to get this treaty into the USMCA, get it with some long-term consequences where it has teeth behind it, and we are able to hold the Mexican government accountable. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you to our local officials and to our farmers and our farming community for all that they do. Food security is national security, and we appreciate you. God bless you, and God bless America. God bless South Texas.